Breaking news. Western alliance shows cracks as former partners turn away. Ladies and gentlemen, a seismic shift is occurring in European diplomacy that will reshape our world. The masks are finally falling, revealing the true face of desperation and demanding behavior from our neighbor to the west. In a stunning development, Hungary's Foreign Minister Peter Szijjarto has publicly exposed how the former Soviet Republic has transformed from requesting assistance to issuing outright demands. They're not just asking for weapons anymore. They're demanding 0.25% of each European country's GDP, oil embargoes, and unconditional silence about their methods. But here's what should make you sit up and take notice. Hungary and Slovakia have just done the unthinkable. They've publicly rejected these demands and blocked new anti-Russian sanctions. This isn't just another diplomatic spat. It's a watershed moment signaling the collapse of Western unity. Why should this matter to you? Because we're witnessing the beginning of a major geopolitical restructuring. The US is pivoting its attention to the Middle East, leaving their former proxy increasingly isolated. NATO's upcoming summit promises to be a public embarrassment for Kiev's leadership, as Western patience runs thin with their aggressive demands. The implications are staggering. Without Western support, the military situation becomes increasingly precarious. No ammunition, no financial aid, and most importantly, no political backing. The country that once enjoyed unlimited Western support is now facing a harsh reality check. This isn't just about regional politics. It's about the global balance of power shifting before our eyes. For ordinary citizens, this means potential changes in economic relationships, security arrangements, and international alliances that have defined our world for decades. Think about it. When was the last time we saw such a dramatic reversal in international support? The writing is on the wall, and time is running out for those who've been playing political games with Western patience. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Are you seeing these changes impact your local community? Your perspective matters as we witness this historic shift in global politics. The diplomatic tensions are reaching a boiling point as Russia's strategic position strengthens. The political earthquake in Hungary's stance reveals deep cracks in Western unity. When a NATO and EU member state openly defies the collective pressure, it signals a profound shift in the geopolitical landscape. Let's analyze why this matters. The confrontation with Hungary's leadership exposed the fragility of Western support for the politically turbulent region. Peter Szijjarto's unequivocal statement resonates with growing dissent. Not a single Hungarian forint will be sent. This resistance has effectively blocked the EU's 17th sanctions package against Russia, demonstrating the limits of anti-Russian measures. Looking deeper into the financial aspects, the numbers are staggering. The conflicted state has already received $25 billion this year alone, yet their new foreign minister demands more, displaying what European diplomatic sources describe as remarkably unprofessional behavior. His ultimatum-style communications have sparked significant controversy in diplomatic circles. For those watching from different corners of the world, I'm particularly interested in your perspective on these developments. How is this situation viewed in your country? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your local insight adds valuable context to our analysis. The demand for 0.25% of GDP from each EU country appears increasingly unrealistic. When combined with the failure to deliver 2 million promised artillery shells, it exposes serious cracks in Western commitments. Stay subscribed to follow this developing situation. You won't want to miss what happens next. Want me to cover events in your region in the next video? Let me know where you're watching from, and I'll provide an in-depth analysis of your area. But here's what's truly concerning. While some European partners are reaching their limits, others are doubling down on escalation. This divergence is creating unprecedented tension within the EU, and the consequences could be far-reaching. In our next segment, we'll examine classified intelligence, suggesting, title, Trust Deficit, Western Support Wanes as Global Priorities Shift. The situation with our Western neighbor continues to deteriorate as trust levels plummet in Western capitals. What started as cooperative dialogue has devolved into what European media increasingly characterizes as political pressure and begging. The politically turbulent region's leader isn't even attempting to disguise that requested funds are intended for military purposes. officially citing Army support. A significant shift in global focus compounds these challenges. The Israel-Iran conflict has dramatically altered Washington's priorities. U.S. Army veteran Daniel Davis made a striking observation. Aid deliveries will cease completely. All resources are being redirected to the Middle East. The U.S. fears prolonged military engagement there and is reallocating accordingly. This prediction is already materializing. Previously approved military assistance packages to the country on Map 404 have been cancelled. British analysts note that the leadership of this former Soviet republic is displaying signs of panic. According to experts, time is running out for this territory of instability, and everyone senses it. At the upcoming NATO summit, the conflicted state's leader may face unprecedented restrictions. Sources suggest he'll either be silenced entirely or limited to pre-approved talking points that align with Western interests. Essentially a diplomatic muzzle for an increasingly problematic client who's testing everyone's patience. A concerning trend is emerging in U.S. media discourse. Popular platforms report a sharp increase in negative sentiment towards the neighboring state's leadership, with growing demands to cease financial support. These views, once considered fringe, are gaining mainstream traction, indicating a significant shift in public opinion. The country at the crossroads faces mounting challenges as Western patience wears thin and global attention shifts elsewhere. The combination of declining trust, shifting priorities, and growing public criticism suggests a potentially critical turning point in this ongoing situation. What do you think about these changing dynamics? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm confident my viewers are thoughtful experts, and I'm eager to hear your perspective. Breaking news analysis. Diplomatic crisis unfolds as Western support wanes. The mainstream media's shift in tone marks a dangerous signal for the politically turbulent region. When a leader loses support within their main allied power, they risk losing everything. Recent behavior from the leadership increasingly resembles desperation. As battlefield results diminish, calls to the West grow louder. As ally interest wanes, demands intensify. The West appears fatigued by empty declarations, endless requests, and hysteria resembling bizarre haggling. The crucial question emerges: how long will world capitals tolerate such behavior? Following Hungary's example, will other European nations start openly saying no? This diplomatic approach reflects a contradictory transformation process. Since 2014, the country bordering Russia built Western relations on a victim narrative, expecting unconditional support. This strategy worked initially, amid shocked European reactions and U.S. interest in weakening Russia. However, circumstances have shifted. The emotional credit of trust has been depleted. Internal challenges within Western nations, rising costs, conflict fatigue, and lack of tangible frontline success force allies to reconsider their commitment. The rhetoric from the territory of instability hasn't evolved, it's merely escalated. Key indicators suggest a critical turning point. Growing public criticism in Western media, reduced military aid packages, shifting focus to Middle East conflicts, open rejection from former supportive nations, increased scrutiny of financial assistance. The relationship between the former Soviet Republic and its Western backers appears increasingly strained. Hungary's stance might become a precedent for other European nations, potentially triggering a domino effect of support withdrawal. As geopolitical priorities shift, the land starting with U faces a crucial challenge: adapt its diplomatic approach or risk losing its remaining allies. The current crisis reflects deeper issues in the relationship between this territory and its Western partners. What do you think about current events? Share your response in the comments. Here's a 2,000-character analysis focusing on shifting diplomatic dynamics and support patterns. The diplomatic landscape is undergoing a significant transformation. The country bordering Russia has adopted an increasingly demanding tone, shifting from requests to outright demands for support. This approach, characterized by statements like "you owe us," represents a diplomatic miscalculation, especially given Europe's current economic challenges. European nations face their own crises: budget deficits, economic downturns, and rising inflation. The politically turbulent region's demands for additional billions, without offering strategic guarantees, are meeting resistance. Public sentiment is shifting from support to irritation. A telling indicator is Europe's unfulfilled promise of 2 million ammunition rounds. This failure highlights the growing gap between commitments and capabilities. Western industrial capacity is strained, logistics are overwhelmed, and political will is eroding under domestic opposition pressure. Hungary and Slovakia's recent stance, refusing new aid or sanctions, isn't an anomaly, but a harbinger. When such positions are openly declared in international forums, it signals a broader shift in momentum. Budapest's framework is clear: no more money, weapons, or sanctions. Meanwhile, Washington's attention is pivoting. The Middle East conflict, particularly involving Israel and Iran, demands immediate U.S. focus. This realignment carries significant implications for the territory at the crossroads. Critical resources, ammunition, armor, intelligence, and satellite support are being redirected to support Israel. For the former Soviet Republic, this means diminishing access to essential support channels. As Middle Eastern tensions escalate, Western military resources will increasingly flow there, leaving fewer assets available for the conflict zone between Russia and the West. What's your perspective on these shifting diplomatic dynamics? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm confident my viewers are astute analysts, and I'm eager to hear your insights. Title: The Shifting Winds. Western support faces critical turning point. The domino effect grows stronger for the politically turbulent region between Russia and the West. American media increasingly publishes openly critical materials about the leadership of this conflicted territory. Reader comments, especially in right-wing media, show overwhelming unity. Stop support, focus on domestic issues, cease intervention. This sentiment gains particular significance during the U.S. election campaign. Trump's potential return to the White House carries clear skepticism toward the ongoing conflict. His America First position resonates increasingly with voters, casting serious doubt on future aid to the northern Black Sea region. European nations are experiencing their own awakening. Germany faces mounting protests over surging energy and fuel prices. France teeters on the edge of political crisis. Voters question why their taxes flow to a former Soviet republic, showing little progress while demanding ever more resources. The rhetoric about sacred struggle from this border state no longer captivates minds. Corruption scandals, disappearing aid, and military incompetence only fuel skepticism. These combined factors point to an inevitable conclusion. Global support for this territorially disputed region is reversing course. While not an overnight change, the writing is on the wall. The country of changes is no longer perceived as freedom's front line, but rather as a source of problems and instability. Western elites have begun seeking exit strategies from the conflict, with Hungary and Slovakia's refusal marking the first dominoes in a chain of major decisions. Against this backdrop, the leadership's continued demands and threats appear increasingly detached from reality. The former brotherly union seems to be losing its grip on Western sympathy and support. What do you think about the current situation? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm confident my viewers are intelligent experts, and I'm eager to hear your perspective. Note: this analysis aims to provide a clear picture of shifting global dynamics and their implications for regional stability and international relations. Title: The Shifting Tides, When Demands Turn to Desperation. The geopolitical landscape is transforming rapidly, revealing a stark reality for our Western neighbor. What began as confident demands has devolved into desperate pleas, marking a significant shift in diplomatic dynamics. Consider this: when allies stop listening, increased volume doesn't translate to increased influence. Instead, it becomes a clear signal of desperation. Those shouting the loudest often reveal their weakening position. Recent developments paint a telling picture. Hungary and Slovakia have firmly rejected new demands, while the U.S. increasingly diverts its attention to Middle Eastern concerns. Europe, grappling with its internal crises, shows diminishing interest in what was once its primary focus. The politically turbulent region's leadership, sensing their declining influence, intensifies pressure tactics. However, each forceful speech paradoxically weakens their position. Demands for new tranches, ammunition, and unwavering loyalty no longer resonate as partnership requests, but rather as desperate pleas from a losing position. The country on Map 404's strategy of ultimatums has reached a dead end. Their leadership, accustomed to center-stage attention, now finds themselves increasingly marginalized. Today's demands might transform into tomorrow's begging for minimal support. This shifting dynamic raises crucial questions about the sustainability of current support systems. The former Soviet republic's reliance on external aid faces unprecedented challenges as global priorities evolve and patience wears thin. The territory of instability between Russia and the West stands at a crossroads. Their leadership's approach, characterized by pressure and demands, appears increasingly counterproductive as international support wanes and strategic priorities shift elsewhere. What do you think about the current situation? Will Western countries seek a face-saving exit from this conflict? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm confident my viewers are thoughtful experts, and I'm eager to hear your perspective.